Hi guys, so Rory here, co-founder of Sublime Trading, here with your daily update for the UK and US indices for Friday the 12th of June. Alright guys, hope you're well. So let's get straight into it. Yesterday we saw that pullback come into play. I've been mentioning it all week that potentially we could see price pull back to key levels of resistance turned support. Price is now very much in a bullish trend and we can't expect price to keep on creating highs without pullbacks within the trend. This is natural to the way price moves. Looking at the Dow Jones, we saw a 7% decline. The S&P 500, we saw a 6% decline, and the Nasdaq, we saw a 4% decline. Also on the FTSE 100, we saw a 4% decline. Now, what do we do at these moments in time? Well, the answer is to apply patience and let price dictate the next potential breakout to the upside. If price continues dropping and breaking through support levels and starts heading towards the low of March, then we could potentially see further weakness at the downside. But for now, this is just very much a pullback within a bull trend. This is where we stay calm and where we let the markets dictate what course of action to take. Now, if we look at price in more detail, what we can see is price at support levels. The S&P 500 has pulled back to retest the 3,000 round number and the 200 simple moving average on the daily time frame. The Nasdaq has pulled back to retest the previous all-time high of February and the 20 simple moving average. Dow Jones kind of broken through a couple of support levels, so it's kind of floating below an area of support. So we want to see price find an area of support somewhere below these key levels of support and then move back to the upside. Remember, support and resistance levels are zonal areas, they're not hard levels. So price tends to move to around these levels before potentially moving back in the direction of the overriding trend. The FTSE 100 has pulled back to the 6,000 round number where it's currently finding support today. So looking at the S&P 500 mini, which gives us an indication of pre-market action, we can already see price finding an area of support and some bullishness coming in. So this could be an indication of an early end to this pullback already, and we could start seeing strength through today. We could see a bullish end to today and then further bullishness through the rest of next week. We of course need to let price dictate that, but for now here at Sublime Trading, our stance is still very much bullish. That hasn't changed. We're simply applying patience now, letting price dictate the depth of this pullback, which hopefully we're now seeing price at key levels of support. These are the exact support levels that we wanted to see price pull back to. Price is now at these support levels. We want to see these support levels hold strong. We want to see price correct, move back to the upside, and then further strength towards the next areas of resistance. Just to put things into perspective, guys, we saw single digit drops yesterday. If we look at the rise in the US indices since March, we've seen around a 50% rise in price. If we look at the FTSE 100, we've seen around a 30% rise in price. So these pullbacks of yesterday, although maybe significant drops for a single day, they are small on the grand scheme of what price action has been doing since March. So again, just really need to stay calm, follow the process. If you are going in the direction of the trend, ultimately day traders, they have a different philosophy altogether, but we know that day traders don't succeed. Most day traders, in fact 80% plus of day traders, go on to lose significant sums of money and blow account. It's not what we do as trend followers. As trend followers, we understand pullbacks and part and parcel of the trend structure. This is where we apply patience, and remember, the next breakout offers opportunities to enter and to compound. We've already got stocks in play. The next breakout will offer further compounding opportunities. So let's get straight into the charts, have a look at where these support levels are exactly, and potentially what we could see through the rest of today.
So guys, if you're new to these daily updates, then I recommend starting with the recording that's pinned to the top of our Facebook page so that you get a good understanding of what I go through in these charts. So as always, this is our 3-screen setup, monthly in the top left, weekly in the top right, and our daily chart down here across the bottom. Starting with the S&P 500, if you look at the month of June, it was looking far more bullish only a few days ago. You can see the bears have come in and pushed price back down, and that's because price is finding resistance at the high of last year. We expect these battles between the bulls and the bears at these key levels of resistance. But this doesn't mean that the market is now suddenly going to reverse and start moving to the downside. We need price itself to dictate that. For now, all we're seeing is price find an area of resistance. On the weekly time frame, price above the 200 moving average. We can see the weakness of this week has taken price to the 50 simple moving average, which will act as support. And on the daily time frame, the pullback has taken price to the 200 moving average, the 3000 round number, and the 20 simple moving average. So a strong support cluster here that we want to see price hold at, and then a move back to the upside. If we see any weakness, then price will come to the 50 simple moving average. Overall though, the trend is still very much bullish. We're just in a pullback to retest this area of support. If you see price move through this area and it hasn't come back to retest it up until now, so we expected this retest at some point, and that's what we're seeing. We now want to see this area hold strong as support and now strength to the upside. Any further weakness, and then of course we could potentially see price move to this low of March, but we want price itself to dictate that. For now, price is at a key area of support. Moving to the Nasdaq, starting with the monthly. If you look at the month of June, it was we had June at creating new all-time highs. The bears have come in and pushed price back down. Again, this is not a total reversal in price. All we're seeing is a battle between the bulls and the bears at a key level of resistance. On the weekly time frame, price above the 200 and the 50 simple moving average. We can see that the week was looking bullish. The bears have come in and pushed price back down. But if we look in more detail on the daily time frame, all we're seeing is price come back to the 20 simple moving average, and we've seen since this trend to the upside that the 20 simple moving average has been holding strong as support. So the fact that it's come back to retest it is not surprising. And we haven't seen price come and retest the previous all-time high. So this is really a support zone that price has come back to. We want to see price hold at this level and a move back to the upside. Moving to the Dow Jones, starting with the monthly, again, we can see that it was a far more bullish looking month. The bears have come in and pushed price back down. On the weekly, price is now trading between the 50 and the 200 simple moving averages. And on the daily, the pullback has taken price to just below the 20 simple moving average. So we want to see price find an area of support between the 20 and the 50 simple moving averages, and then strength back to the upside. So ultimately, waiting for a break and a close above the high of June to suggest strength to the current all-time high. Now, moving to the S&P 500 mini, which gives us an indication of pre-market action. Monthly, we can see that again, more of an indecision looking candle. It was looking bullish. Bears have come in and pushed price back down. That's because of the high of last year acting as resistance. On the weekly, price above the 200 moving average. It's finding support at the 50 simple moving average, which is positive. And on the daily, we can see that the pullback from this week has taken price again to that same support area as on the S&P 500, made up of the 200 moving average, the 3000 round number, and the 20 simple moving average. And if you look at price action so far, pre-market, we are seeing bullishness coming in. So potentially we could already be seeing price finding support at this level. What we want to see then throughout today and the rest of next week is a recovery back to the upside and this high taken out and then further strength. Moving to the UK market, the FTSE 100, we know that price since March really has been in this recovery to the upside. Price we know was at a key level of resistance, and that's why the bears have come in and pushed price back down. On the weekly, price is below the 200 moving average and the 50 simple moving average. Bullish week last week, bearish looking week so far this week. It'll be interesting to see how today ends, which will be the end of the week. And on the daily time frame, if I just open that up, we can see that the pullback took price to the 6,000 round number. So we actually saw further weakness at the start of play today. The bulls have come in and started pushing price up. So a bullish looking end to today or to the week, and then potentially we could see further strength to the upside. So again, we want to see the high of June cleared and strength towards that 200 simple moving average. So potentially what we could be seeing is an end to this pullback with price at certain areas of support. We could see a bullish Friday, and then we could see strength through next week. Of course, this is only going on what price can dictate. we may see this support level broken and price weaken to the downside, but we always want to go in the direction of the trend. And since March, the trend has been bullish. What we do know is that price does not move in a straight line. What we have are moves to the upside, pullbacks, another move to the upside, pullback. So for now, this is nothing more than a pullback across all the indices. We want to see the support levels hold strong, and we want to see strength back to the upside. So a waiting game to see how today ends, and then I will be back on Monday with an update of how this week has ended and what potentially we could see through the rest of next week. So please like, comment and share. Let's get people understanding how to use these indices correctly to build a solid investment portfolio, and I will be back on Monday. Have a lovely weekend.